we've waited all day for this one. North America, I hope you're awake, because here we go. G2 taking on Complexity. Who makes the group stage, Stumpy?
It's about time we had a North American regional here in Düsseldorf. It's a little bit of fun, a little bit of vibes. Making that main event in 3-0, alongside now, by the way, Falcons, who got themselves a reverse sweep out of nowhere. It's unbelievable. Complexity G2 is going to be a huge banger of a match, but early chances for Complexity. I am going to put my money on Complexity. I still back him over G2, just to an extent.
They're probably the form team out of these two, and they should be the favourites, but I mean, I said it to you off air, Stumpy. G2 have this plot armour about them, and similarly, they're on a similar timeline, I guess you could say, to Falcons as well, in that, you know, the team that you could say of recent form haven't been quite there, but we saw what they did in the last series, making that reverse sweep, the first ever best of 7 reverse sweep on land against their brothers in Twisted Minds.
40 seconds gone, a couple of diving saves in favour of G2. Complexity certainly going to want to be putting on all that pressure that they're so known for as well. G2, they've played them once. They're currently undefeated against Complexity. Complexity have only got a single game versus G2 this entire season.
What was it, 3-1?
It was a 4-1, mate.
4-1. There you go.
A single series they played all the way back in full. Went in favour of G2. The same rosters as well. One of the teams, two of the teams that haven't made any moves this entire season.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how relevant that form line is, given that it was last year, but
nearly a year ago.
Almost a year ago. But as you said, it's interesting, these two teams who have always been up there in the standings in their own region really just keep avoiding each other back at home, but they have found each other in what could be the final stage for hopefully one of the winning team.
Lovely
championships, and maybe it's the G2 Nation.
Naughty bit of teamwork working on the pitch. 90 seconds in, dead on Chicago. Goes high, finds Atomic. Straight back down to his compatriot. Lovely passing play. G2, they seem somewhat more alive, I feel, in the last few months.
They've had a lot of confidence as well going into this World Champs. I'm not sure what the results were like in their boot camp, how the scrims were looking, but just talking to the players, they have so much confidence in what they've been doing, figuring it out as Chicago misses one, or Atomic, should I say, but does back it up with a nice demo, and G2 can keep the pressure here. CRR has to parry it to the side and just clear the ball for now. This is playing into G2's hands. Atomic, flip reset, raise ball 50s. And G2 keeping the pressure, keeping that boost control, Stumpy. Here goes J-Naps. What can he do? He's delaying the flip, raise ball pre-jumps. Makes a nice save.
Something that we've seen from both these teams as well is they've had strangely mirroring ways up to this 2-0 round in our round 3 of the Swiss Complexity. They went 4-0 versus Valiant, and G2 went 4-0 versus Limitless. Nice, decent, easy little start. You are those top
seeds. Open, however, not 2-0. Atomic.
G2, as I'm talking, completely open that net up. The lovely touch high and a demo in that back corner. Raceball is removed. Now Atomic, the easiest net in his life to shoot on.
The demo certainly helped, but Raceball just getting beaten to the ball for free there is not what we want to see from Complexity early. As we said, it is late in the day now. We have waited until the final series. Perhaps a bit of a game on warm-up here, warming up the mechanics is Complexity.
And we've seen as well, these teams are able to go the distance in this competition too. Both of them going to game number 7, Complexity going 4-3 versus Oxygen, and G2 going 4-3 versus SSG. Two huge, brilliant wins for them. And J-Naps, another brilliant win, this time on the pitch, in the sky versus Complexity.
They're all over them. This is the G2 of old here. It's Atomic off the sideball, gets the second touch, which just puts CRR in the worst position. Can't quite make it, and J-Naps, the oldest player here, he does the rest, the old boy.
The old boy, he moves up on his Zimmer frame, taps it in with a little metal foot. 3-0 for G2 in game number 1. This is already a statement, and we're only halfway through. Complexity normally a team where they're going to outspeed the opponent. G2 much more structured. They're going to be able to work you down. They're going to grind away, and then they'll get a goal. They have looked utterly explosive so far.
Yeah, this has to be credit to Sathu as well. These boys are warmed up. I'm not sure what he's done, what the pep talk was, but this game 1 is all G2. Complexity, they look a bit rattled here early as the offense from G2 has proved too much. Chicago, that's great control. Now there's a counter-attack. It's a 2-on-1. Atomic off the sideball. He wants one more, gets the touch, but it does roll up. Not quite the bounce that he wanted.
Intelligent 50s coming in as well for G2. Seeing they've got a teammate nearby, get a 50 down towards them. Not just going for something errant, not just going for the sake of it.
Oh, that is a ridiculous shot from Atomic off the sideball.
Atomic, man.
It's too early for this. It's only the wild card. This kid says, get me to the main event. Look at the angle.
Literally, how do you read it?
4-zip, Stumpy. 4-zip.
In 90 seconds left, Atomic, another disgusting one. Stoic as you like on the camera. It could be 5, it could be Chicago. AJG's defense staying firm, but every time I try and make points so far, it's been G2 coming out, shutting me up and shutting down Complexity.
Yeah, Complexity just have no response right now. It is only game 1, but here we go again. Atomic fires one on net. This time CRR to the side, but the touches just, they're not as crisp as we expect from Complexity. G2, they're just capitalising. They've been deadly in front of net. Here's another beat out from Atomic, great 50. And they're just looking for the boost. They're looking for the long con. JNaps has to wait for Razeball. This could be the best chance to get from Complexity, but again, the rotations are flawless. The 50s are coming through. Chicago meeting CRR in the air. This could be the shot though. Razeball. Oh, he goes to spot it off the bar. CRR follow-up. Wide again. Chicago meets him. They can't get there first.
Not just wide, high as well. CRR really could have put that somewhere close to the net instead of going for that double. With the final 30 seconds ticking down in our final series of the day. It's been explosive so far, and G2 want to continue that chain reaction. Razeball backboard. Can't get around the side of Atomic though, but a shot from AJG is going to be firm, and it's going to be one for the fellas from South America.
They wore them down eventually there, and I mean, perhaps a bit of momentum going into game number 2, but this one is all said and done. G2 have just absolutely stunned them off the bat. Credit to them. It's great to see that offense coming through. I've had my doubts about this G2 lineup just because we hadn't seen them in so long. They missed out on the Spring Major. Boston was a ride-off. They were watching from home, but here they are in the wildcard stage, stepping up.
Equally though, we saw Complexity at the Spring Major, and they had a relatively disappointing time of it, alongside the rest of North America, don't get me wrong, but it was just a disappointing major for them. They're looking to be making those day 3s at minimum. 5 for G2, but it's better to have gone there and still end up going somewhere towards the bottom of the pack at a major, compared to not even qualifying for it. Complexity though, their quality is not here in game number 1. G2 taking it handily. Just
a super impressive start, and I mean, I talked about that plot armor from G2, that it feels like, is there a fairy tale ending brewing, or well, I don't want to say a fairy tale ending, but a fairy tale for this lineup who got so close at the last World Championships, dropping out to losing to BDS in the grand finals. Is it time for their day in the sun here? But first, they've got to get a wildcard, Snuffy.
I mean, a statement if you go through 3-0.
It is.
For any team that gets through 3-0, Falcons doing it 3-0 is madness, by the way. We were guaranteed a MENA team to do it, they managed to do so. We were guaranteed North American team to do it, between these two as well. G2 in this Mobile 1 high points replay showed why they are wanting to be that team.
No, it's fantastic to see from G2. What a start. I mean, Sathu, as I said, that he has to have got them warmed up here. I'm not sure what he has given them for dinner, as it is getting late here in the door.
I think we all had the same dinner.
Well, I mean, yeah, unless he's found some external sources, but he won't be talking about that one anyway. It's good to be here. It's good to be hanging out with you. And why did you do that?
I don't know.
Why did he go for a handshake? Anyway, look, G2 5-1. What a start. Complexity look a little bit slow to get slow out of the gates. Yeah. Their defense wasn't quite up to scratch, and well, quite frankly, it's full credit to G2 because it was all that offense. It was too much.
I mean, yeah, it was, as we were describing, we were saying it was explosive. It was G2 making sure that they're putting their statement on this series early on, and it almost seemed like they were trying to demoralize Complexity, saying, let's play the fast game. We can be faster, and if we're not faster and we don't get the ball, we're going to 2-foot the man behind it and send him to the hospital.
That's not what we want at all. We don't like that. What we do like, though...
went for, though. They demoed them.
No, yes, the offense was incredible. We don't like sending anyone to hospital here, ladies and gents, but, I mean, what Atomic's been doing... Atomic's been breaking ankles, to be fair. So there's been some things going on the G2 offense, but AJG wants to start strong. Game 2, drop down. There we go!
My word. Not just AJG on this play. Up for that double. He could do it also thanks to Razeball. Chicago, he was close to making that save, gets removed. Demo comes out, 20 seconds in, Complexity looking to be back.
I think the demo just made it look cooler. That was a great read from AJG. The explosion coming through as well, but that's a great response off that rough game 1. But what a powers! Oh, what a response! What an answer back from Atomic. We got 1-1 early.
Straight away as well, off the kickoff. Atomic goes high. So JNaps goes high, and Atomic is the man to receive off JNaps' outstanding pass. And JNaps, a player who I'm not going to say is overlooked on G2 because he is literally Mr. G2, but everyone looks at Atomic a lot of the time to say he's the best player on that team. JNaps, I've been talking to Jorby and Achieves. They've been saying, JNaps, he is the guy. He is the G2 man that everyone should be more terrified of.
Yeah, T-Bates was challenging the opinion of Jorby as JNaps he was saying how JNaps was just so mechanical and perhaps, you know, more mechanical than Atomic. But oh, hang on a minute. The classic G2 counter-attack. What's happened to Complexity? AJG, CRR's in no man's land, has to flip out of the way. And again, the passing plays from G2. We've seen it over the years and we're seeing it again right now.
And it was the movement from Atomic to get that 50 and then not shy away and get a side boost. Instead, he actually moves up the pitch and makes the goal wider. He can be passed to, hit the ball towards him, and he can punt it home.
Gee, this is impressive stuff from G2. There's the ball going for one. AJG, all he can do is pinch. It's there. Great follow-up. Blocked out again. G2 just keeping that lead alive. JNaps, the nap man, he's going up. AJG meets him in the air. Atomic just trying to put the pressure on. Pops it up high. He saw the pre-jump from the ball. Has to land in midfield. Where's the pass play? There it is. CRR skimmed across. JNaps just getting a fingernail on it.
So Atomic now from that backboard. 50 down. Chicago, right place, right time. And he gets a collection of the ball in that corner. Muscles it around AJG. CRR to the ceiling. JMax to shoot. Does go top right. Atomic goes just top. But nobody is there to receive on the third alley-oop.
Chicago now. It's a great touch, but it's straight on net. G2 have to get it out. It's going to be JNaps for Chicago going for the bumps. CRR's in trouble. AJG has to get back. All he can do is put it on the backboard. Says Atomic have a crack. Misses the ball, leaves it for Chicago. Flick comes through. Bray's ball there. And JNaps keeping it in. G2, they want more. There's another pass play. Naps flips out, goes to the dribble, throws it on net. CRR front post. Complexity hanging on, but they got no boost, Stumpy.
It's more chance. They're really starting to work their way forward for G2 and now proving they're such a multifaceted team. They're not just, oh, that's a lovely fake from CRR. It does open a lot of that space in the midfield. Tries to pass, but JNaps again getting a lovely interception. And the multifaceted nature of G2 makes them threatening in every angle. We've seen the counter-attack. We've seen them go for plays over and over again that other teams might just give up on, but they see that there's a little bit of diamond in the rough.
Yeah, they're just switched on. That's the best case, or the best example right there, as you said, is again it now. There's a beautiful beat out. AJG has to be back last man. All he can do is put it off the backboard. Should be another attack coming through here from G2. Have a look at Atomic sweeping through their net. They're so aggressive right now, G2. They're in their half. They're stealing their boost. They're looking for bumps. I love it. It's a huge whiff. JNaps, an absolute gimme.
CRR wiping the sweat from his brow. Mate, you're not putting any work. You've not made a touch. There's no sweat to wipe away. JNaps, easiest goal of his life. It's the third for G2. Complexity, where are you at?
Oh no, this is not the CRR that took his team, carried his team against Oxygen, particularly in that Game 7. Right now he has to step up. Raisbull throws it across. There is CRR. Ball goes too far to the other side of the field. Complexity can't do much with that. I mean, this is G2.
Oh!
No! The pre-flip, I thought he had it, but
Same.
We need another look, Stumpy. What's happened here?
Just far enough away from it. Chicago does spin back across net. He gets bumped from CRR, who's going back from the side wall, sends him far enough in front of the ball, and he can't make that contact.
He just changed his trajectory just enough so he could miss that ball. We've got 2 minutes left. G2 still have the lead, but it's going to help Complexity's chances here in Game 2. Here's the ball. 20 boost now. Goes for the bump. I don't mind it. CRR's there.
Good miss.
Coming through. Atomic can't quite get it. Complexity pushing forward. JNaps has to send it clear. There's the infield pass. CRR not there. Raisbull rotating out. They'll be disappointed with that one, Complexity, but they're still on attack.
Minute and a half for that attack to continue to galvanise. CRR to one side. Gets the reset. Technically on target, but at a snail's pace. Chicago can clear it handily into the corner. Minute 20. G2 with their 1 goal lead would put them 2-0 ahead in the series as well. AGG with a challenge versus Chicago in the sky. JNaps sends it long, clears it as far away from his net as possible.
Yeah, G2 have shut up shop a little bit here. They're just sending one man forward. We're not seeing quite as much aggression. They're one of the most well-coached teams in the RLCS. We're seeing it right here. They're just trying to hold on to that lead. Going for those solo plays, not opting to go for as many demos as we saw early. They don't need an extra goal. They just need to hold it out here, Stumpy. We got 50 on the clock.
You said about the coaching of these teams, discipline is something that we see.
Oh, big miss!
Sports, but a miss! again. What is going on with that backboard?
A huge miss from Chicago. He had no one on the backboard. The demo came through.
2 demos came through.
2 demos and just too much power on that backboard touch. Chicago just leaning back in his chair a little bit. He knew how important that goal was because now G2 need to change it up. They went into a defensive style, but they've lost the lead.
Well, they had that 3-1 lead. It was vital that they kept it instead of Complexity and worked back. We asked, where are they? We have now seen 30 seconds. JNaps works around the side of one. Chicago shoots on target, but CRR backflips it corner bound.
I would love to see Chicago just throw that extra pass there. CRR had most of it covered. Here he is, though. CRR has to jump up. Great dunk from Chicago. 17 seconds. Can G2 perhaps do it in regulation here? Huge clear. Oh, there it is. No, Chicago wide. He just didn't get around it.
We're on Fitton Temple, but he shot that at Chicago. That was miles away.
No, he just didn't get it anywhere near the net. 2 seconds now. Looks like we're going to have overtime. A huge beat out, sends it downfield. Ball hits the deck. G2 3-1, but now we got OT.
This is going to be a battle of G2 holding on to their lead, hoping that they can win out the overtime in a game that they should have been able to shut away, or Complexity. Can they continue their push and make sure that this overtime is the start of their winning streak?
Oh, that's a great play, CRR. Just gets up in time, gets a touch that he needed. Chicago with no boost, just keeping the ball in. Double commit from Complexity. Could be dangerous. CRR, great cut of the rotation there. Helping out, finding Raiseball. Complexity getting out of trouble, and they're setting up these solo plays, but now they're in trouble again. JNaps solo. Can't quite get it around the defender.
30 seconds in, and G2 have definitely got the bright orange heat map on their side. Chicago passes down towards JNaps, alleviates the ball, and pressure continues in the favour of G2. Complexity holding on well, but their boost is ever so scant.
The only one with 100 there, and it could come back to bite them now. CRR just flopping around AJG. It's going to actually help out Complexity, that whiff. Raiseball's going to get a huge beat on JNaps. Atomic's there. The demos are coming through. JNaps is going to work. He's trying to find everyone. Chicago throwing it high. They're in trouble. Complexity. Great weed from Raiseball, but it sent CRR as well. They're so low. No one with boost. Raiseball finally finds 100. But the top bids, guess who? JNaps top slot.
They're able to work it back. The 4th for G2 is the nail in that coffin, but that coffin should have been buried a long time ago. Complexity, a brilliant turn back to get them to overtime. Whiffs on both sides. Hoping that we see a little bit of a tidier game 3, because seeing 2 goals in that coming from just straight up backboard misses is not what you want to be seeing in the 3rd round of the Swiss, trying to get through in perfect towards that main event.
Look at that, 2 goals from Atomic, 2 goals from JNaps, MVP performances. And G2. It should have been a little bit more comfortable, I'd say, that game. As you said, they were 3-1 up. Complexity brought it back to overtime, but G2, the pressure, the offense, and we've talked about the boost usage has been enormous. They just had none. They had 0 in the tank. That's why JNaps got that free shot.
Well, look at the end of one of these final goals, the overtime goal. Look top left. They have 13 boost until then Raiseball gets in the corner, but he's out of position. It doesn't matter. Timeout has been called for Complexity. TJ, I say this every single time. You call it after 2, surely, boys.
You got to call it after 2.
You got to call it after 2.
And really, it's not as if Complexity should have won either of those games, so they have to change things up here. I know that they brought it back to overtime, but really G2 let them back in. They opted for that defensive style, Stumpy, but it didn't work out. As soon as they did that, they stopped following each other up, looking for those pass plays that enabled them to get those 3 goals. They conceded 2 of their own, but they went back to their style, what they knew, what they know, what they love in that overtime. And they had so much offense getting that winner. So perhaps Sathu could just say, boys, maybe we keep the foot down. Let's not go into that defensive mindset.
I agree.
But on the other side of things, Complexity, they've got some thinking to do.
Well, they need to get their foot down. Yeah. They haven't had their foot down. I want to see heat maps of those first 2 games, because it'll be blazing white on Complexity's side. That blue is going to be completely shrouded by what will look like snow from how hot that is on their side. Whereas on the G2 half, a couple of goals came in, or they had 3 in the end on that final one, but they were just sort of there. There wasn't continued pressure to get them. Yes, they all count for 1, but the pressure for G2 has been utterly immense. They have been putting on the press extraordinarily well.
Yeah, if you're going to look at the boost usage, or sorry, the boost steals in the stats after this series, it's going to paint a pretty picture there for G2 as, I mean, they are just grabbing their corner boost like nothing I've seen before. I'm loving seeing the offense. I'm loving the pressure. And for me, it just feels like this is the G2 that we were witnessing a year ago. And what a time to do it at the World Championships. They're back. They lost last year in the grand final. BDS proved too strong for them. But they're 2 games away, Stumpy, from 3-0ing the wildcard. And as you said, putting every main event team on notice.
Chance for Complexity, though, to work their way back. Make sure that they don't go down those 3. Only one team has ever completed a best-of-7 reverse sweep on LAN, and it was about 20 minutes ago.
So, if you want to do it, now's a good time, apparently,
Yep.
as history is being made. And
It's a good day for it.
I'm sure history's going to be made this entire World Championships. And so there's just something in the air. This is going to be a very, very special one here in the Dorf. But right now, off the timeout, what have Complexity got? Is AJG going to be that man? He's going for the fake. He's going low. He's faking it out. But Atomic reads him.
50 seconds elapsed, and we are seeing a huge amount of pressure come in for Complexity to start us off as well. I think that's going to be the main thing that Complexity discussed, was make sure that we don't just let them have all the pressure. That is an all touch central though for CRR. He does cover it well with his body. Opportunity starting to arise as G2, that ever famous press, is going to be continuing.
Razebull low boost. This is a bit of a similar story here for Complexity. Have a look at your top left. Razebull finally finds 100, but constantly we're seeing just those boost counters reaching 0 for Complexity. Great touch from Chicago. He's going to find Atomic. He's got no boost of his own. CRR trying to find AJG. Bit of miscommunication though. Usually you'd see AJG already on the corner, and that means there's an open shot. Razebull front post. Atomic just turns.
Oh!
He just turns off the corner and says thank you very much.
Atomic dropping the bomb top right. It's a minute and a half, and it is magnificence from him to open up the scoring in the 3rd. Atomic has been sublime so far, and it's going to be carrying on through this series. Complexity, boys, you've got to shut him down. That's one demo for AGG off the kickoff. Instead goes to the bump on Atomic, who turns on the goal line. He is a pirouetting ballerina with a boxing glove until Razebull finds his way in. G2, they were under the press. There were issues for them in the end. There was a miss and a whiff, and Razebull an open net for him.
You talk about Atomic being a ballerina, Will. I don't think they like bulls too much. Just brute force from Razebull. Showing the physicality, says no thank you. Atomic, he was showing the flair, but is the bull gonna show up now? Puts it wide. Goodness. He's seeing red at the moment. Top corner again. CRR throwing it on. This is the Complexity pressure we want to see, but Atomic's got a beat out. This is what he loves, these sort of situations. AJG 14 boost. Atomic is turning everywhere. As T-Bates would say, he just moves different, Stumpy.
2 minutes elapsed, and Complexity finally looking alive like the team we've seen from them this entire season so far. CRR high, opts to go for the bump. No ball touch is going to be available for him, and so it's a good clear from G2. AJG has to slow it down so it falls back down towards CRR, and boost again looking to be an issue for Complexity.
It's why they can't push forward and attack, because they're so worried about grabbing their own corner boost, pushing all the way back, just leading to weak offense, and they can't sustain this pressure right now, Complexity, whereas G2, when they get it down there, I mean, they're there for a long time. They're setting up camp in Complexity's offense in their net. Chicago sends him in for another bump coming through. That's all Complexity have right now, though, is the bumps. JNAP's great beat out. CRR has to turn, solo play of his own. He's going high, off the ceiling, has a reset, maybe one more on net, beats one, save out Atomic. AJG keeping it in there, Complexity. This is where they can strike Razebull's pre-jumps. Nothing's happened, but Chicago's in a one-on-one. He goes one more. Great defense, CRR.
Just tipping it onto that backboard, then waiting, lurking, knowing that ball maybe will find its way back. JNAP's attempts to link up with Atomic, but who is in the way but the bull? Right-hand wing is going to be his. Chicago is going to shut him down that time. JNAP sees someone central, but he gets distracted by something shiny on the backboard and instead dies for that.
A little bit too quick for his own good. Another miss coming out. This time it was Chicago. He is able to grab that corner boost, perhaps keep this offense rolling right now for G2. It is sent down. They're a little bit awkward. Complexity trying to grab the lead. JNAP's just forcing the flick out. Chicago's there. Atomic's on the counter. It's on target. Razebull can't get back. G2 grab the lead again.
You see the elation for G2 as well, knowing this is going to be a hard-fought battle, and Atomic in his own half just needs to tip that ball onward. Razebull gets his nose to it, but he taps it inward. The lead for G2 approaching the final minute. Complexity, questions being asked. JNAP shoots wide on that chance. Razebull back into the corner. Goes high with that opportunity. AJG destroying Chicago. A relatively open net, as to say.
Yeah, they just couldn't get the touch. Somehow the 50 came through. That's a great shot. The ball goes up. J-Naps meets him. Keeping the offense here is complexity. AJG gets beaten out from Chicago, but he's got no boost of his own. Another 50. There's Atomic now. He's just going to kill a little bit of time off the clock. They've got 45 seconds. Last time complexity, they broke that deadlock. Here's a nice little 1-2. Chicago reads it. The ball goes for the skim off the sidewall. Faked out CRR. AJG's got to wait for Chicago. Atomic's waiting in the wing sidewall. He's got a double. He misses the double. There's now CRR. Grabs the solo play. One flip. How about another one? J-Naps meets him.
25 seconds. G2, chance to go 3-0 up. We see Atomic attack AJG. Chicago, central, AJG yet with another block. CRR, back right corner. Tries to work his way out. J-Naps just shadows him wonderfully.
This is it, 10 seconds now. Complexity, they don't want to go 3-0 down. Here's the ball. Chicago sends it to the side. Huge miss from CRR. Cargo again gets a huge beat. He's doing it all for G2. He wants 3-zip. They get 3-zip.
3 for G2. Nil so far for complexity. Questions to be asked, and a timeout has been burned. Nothing, no extra time for complexity to think of their woes and manage how they are going to push forwards, because this giddy side in G2 is going to be pushing forward. One more, CJ, and they make main event by 4-0ing complexity.
What a statement. G2. We didn't really know going in. They'd played complexity. Oh, sorry, they played SSA in round 1. We don't really know how that's going to go, or we don't really know what we're going to learn from that, should I say. And a great series against SSG, and taking a look there at the Mobile 1 high-performance replay. Look at Atomic. I mean, the movement. T-Bates is just giddy right now watching back at home. Can't wait to see him, by the way. See you, T-Bates, next week.
Yeah, it'd be good to see him.
Yeah, it'd be good to see him.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It's been a bit quiet in the green room, isn't it?
Yeah, it has.
We've been very civil and enjoying each other's company.
I haven't heard, let me tell you. Let me tell you.
That'll be nice. That's going to be exciting. And G2, if they make it through, man is going to be extremely happy. But complexity, Jorby's going to be crying.
I mean, the only thing complexity can hold on to right now is that Falcons did it 15 minutes ago. And maybe history can repeat itself very quickly.
Imagine we get it just twice in one day. Today just so happens to be the one for it.
Back to back, can we do it? Complexity, they picked up the pace in game number 3, but they need to climb a huge mountain. They need to win 4 on the bounce against what looks to be peak G2.
Battle commences in the Coliseum, and G2 Esports looking to go perfect versus complexity in these games. CRR in the midfield, challenging versus AJG, and with J-Naps taking it to the corner, G2, they're going to want to continue this series how they started, with sheer undying pressure.
Yeah, this is it's a great pass for Raiseball. He's got to put this on target. Oh. Almost saved out from Atomic. The complexity, the perfect start to perhaps another fairy tale.
Manages to just about sneak it, and Atomic fancied a hand to it. He got close. Makes the contact, but just not quite enough beans on it. 30 seconds gone, complexity 1-0. And those counterattacks may well prove vital.
Here we go off the kickoff right now. It's Atomic, gets bumped out. Chicago's there, puts it on net. Raiseball, a little bit awkward there, but does find CRR, who finds AJG. They're linking up now. Here we go. Great pass across. Atomic has to reach it.
It's awkward.
Might get 2, finds the bump. This is very awkward for both sides. Raiseball's in there now. 4 players in the corner. A little bit of pinball as AJG has to track back, find CRR again. They're linking up well, but the demos are disrupting all sorts of offense from complexity.
Double demo in favor of G2. They are on the warpath. We're talking about the bull in the china shop. Right now, we are seeing somebody mow it down by Chicago.
Massive
a whiff! A miss shot!
You're joking!
It's AJG again!
How did they not put it away? How have they still not put it away? All he had to do was fire it on net. He overthought it. He went the slow way. J-Nap still awkward. G2 still in trouble. Complexity still pushing forward. And another chance. CRR, it's booked out again.
The pressure not alleviating until Atomic manages to shoot wide of the net.
No!
Why can no one shoot?
What is happening? When the pressures is at its highest, Stumpy, everyone goes to water.
It's a comedy of errors. But nobody on the pitch is laughing. 2 minutes gone. Atomic goes high for 1. Nothing similar about that chance until it takes 2 players from Complexity to challenge him for possession. JNaps misses the ball, can't get central with it. JNaps a few times in the corner, not been able to make that contact as well. Chicago now with no boost has to try and work his way back. It's now Complexity, they begin their counter-attack. Atomic gets rid of any control from the ball. Raiseball and AJG both committing. It's a 3v1 versus CRR. JNaps goes high, but the missed bump, it then goes low, and CRR brilliant defending, but JNaps with another lackadaisical offense.
Oh, both teams really struggling to regain composure after a couple of open net misses. There's a great flip reset. AJG's there as well for the bumps. Chicago just dribbles it out, goes to the low 50. It's a bit of time now. AJG's going to have to try and find it a teammate, or perhaps fake it for Raiseball. He did grab the mid boost, that's important. JNaps reads it, fires one on. CRR awkward, has to get 2. It's not a great touch again.
Oh dear.
But he does land on it.
Deary me, that was an awkward touch. That's a brilliant fake though from Raiseball. Fakes out the musty as well, goes high with the ball eventually. Atomic from his backboard is going to be able to clear it away, however. AJG central, but nobody to receive it. So that ball goes nowhere. 2 minutes remaining, and Complexity with this hard-fought lead held onto, but they must be thinking it may well be 2. It could be 2, or it could be 1-1.
I'm not sure what we witnessed in the first 2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, but I hope you're enjoying it, watching at home. I hope you're having a good time watching North America's best do battle. Here we go, 1-0 Complexity, a minute 40 to start that reverse sweep. Start thinking about it, put the doubt in G2's mind, or is it going to be Atomic going the low 50? JNaps trying to find the equalizer off the corner, find Chicago off the backboard. CR met in the air, Raiseball's awkward, has to put it to the side. Shot on net, it's wide open. And guess who?
It's a bit of a dribbler, but he finds his way in. Bounces off the ground a couple of times. Raiseball, what a poor touch from him. Finds himself awkward on the backboard, has to do a quick 360 on it. Very little contact made, and a late equaliser from G2 sees this final 1 minute 24 as heart-pumping as the first 3 games.
Yeah, there's been many positional mistakes here from Complexity, but it's been caused by G2's offense, their boost control, and just keeping Complexity's defense on notice at all times.
What a sling-slang that was.
The ball's going everywhere. The musty flicks are coming through. Raiseball's up. He's still got a little bit of boost. He's going for a bump, trying to disrupt. It was a double commit. CRR now trying to get to work. That's a great flick. Chicago front post. Does well.
Brilliant defensive presence from Chicago there, making sure that that sidewall is going to be completely covered. CRR with a shot. This is now open on that backside. Atomic, will he take that snapshot? He does. Raiseball is back. Taps it just above the crossbar as well. Raiseball now going central, but these bump opportunities and Complexity existing within about 2 microns of each other. A demo opens up that back wall. Raiseball, he raises back. JNaps shoots! JNaps is the target man!
He just finds Raiseball in all sorts. CRR meets it, but he doesn't get anything. And guess who? It's JNaps.
Guess who? Mr. G2 finds the goal, the second. 34 seconds remaining, 4 potentially in a row for G2 Esports.
Really great kickoff there from Complexity, however, 30 seconds for G2 to make the ultimate statement out of the wildcard. Gee whiz, they've made this look easy at the World Championships. Complexity, what have you got?
17 seconds remaining, another shot on target. CRR with a vital save. Only 2 boosts, he can't work out with his own half.
He can't get it, Raiseball. What have you got in the locker, buddy? Flicks it across, it's Atomic, tries to get it down. All they need to do is kill 2 more seconds. Is it going to be G2? Is it going to be North America's dream? Making it through the wildcard in 3. AJG trying to keep it alive. CRR's there. Atomic just trying to wheel the ball down. There it is. G2 Esports. 3-0 wildcard. Hello, main event.
They are them. G2 Esports. What a statement series that ended up being. You see the boys stand up, they cheer, they shout, they holler, and they are proud of the work they've put in. They missed the spring major. They're disappointed with that. All of their fans across the world are disappointed with that. And yet they come back stronger than ever at the World Championships, and what a place to do it.
I had my doubts, Stumpy. I had my doubts going in. We just hadn't seen them in so long. It felt like they were on that downtrend. But something has clicked.
Outstanding
Perhaps
turnaround.
the aura, the presence of a World Championships was looming, and they have lifted, they have risen at the perfect time here. What a statement. As I said, 3-0, joining Falcons in the group stage, in the main event. Man, oh man.
Complexity, however, Disappointing for them, extremely disappointing for them. They had a great showing at every major they attended. They had an outstanding showing throughout the entire season. Realistically, they just had to go a little bit towards that spring major side of things. They've not put in the work versus G2 that G2 have clearly put in to raise themselves up. And what a performance overall from G2. I am not worried about complexity going through regardless. They are not out, bear in mind, we are in Swiss. They've just gone 2-1. They now play another 2-1 team tomorrow.
Yeah, they've got 2 more chances to make it through to the main event, but today is all about G2 Esports. They have been absolutely phenomenal in this group stage, have not put a foot wrong. And who else but Mr. Reed, Mr. Chicago Stumpy, taking us for an interview.
Drasty, let's see what Chicago has to say.
Chicago, you have only just gone and done it. I'm going to jump straight into it though. The last time you faced off versus Complexity was way back when, during the Fall Regional 3. That was quite a while ago, and not only did you face them then, that was also the deciding match to figure out who went to Rotterdam. So talk to me, this time around, I know you won once again. Did you feel like you noticed more fight coming out from them at all?
Well, to be honest, they're like a completely different team in Fall. Fall, there was their first split together, and then they made huge strides the next 2 splits, and we're honestly one of the best teams at NA. But for us, it's just, we weren't focused on them. We were just focused on ourselves and what we can control. I'm really happy with what we did.
As you should be, absolutely. And have you been scrimming them much on the lead up to this event as well?
Yeah, since they're a North American team, we scrim them all the time. They're one of the best teams and always want to get the best practice. So they're always good practice. And I'm really happy because they're usually a team that does very well against us. So for us, it was kind of a inner goal to beat them, and to do it the way we did was very, very nice.
I have to ask you, who's the best NA team right now?
Well, after that performance, I feel like people realize there might be a new G2 around. But of course, FaZe and Gen G are going to be here competing as well. But, you know, we've had a little 3-0 head start, so I think we're going to be very comfortable. And I think it's definitely going to be up to one of us 3, but I'm very confident in ourselves being the best.
I'm liking the confidence. I hope you certainly keep it up as well. And I've also got to reveal to you, you know who you're playing?
Is it Rule 1?
It is Rule 1. How are you feeling about that matchup?
I mean, they're an exciting team to play. Like, we've scrimmed them a couple times. Very new team. Going to be a super entertaining match, I think. So honestly, I'm just excited because it's a new team we haven't played before on stage. So it's always exciting. I think it's just going to be a fun, maybe even Game 7 match, and those are always the best.
I bet you're looking forward to performing, playing in front of a crowd as well. So how much does that mean to you? Do you feel like you're going to be a little bit more shaky heading out onto that stage?
For sure. Like, the main first goal is you always want to get in front of a crowd. So that's huge for us to go 3-0 and then secure the crowd. Also, you know, like sometimes you have family coming to the LAN. If you don't get the crowd, it's one of the saddest things. So the fact that knowing that we secured that is just a huge relief. And now I think we'll just be cruising because we have the confidence and we showed to ourselves that we can do it.
Well, here's to a cruisy performance all the way through. Thanks for joining me.